Hi guys, in a statement that's likely to melt the brains, if there are any left, of the likes of Nigel Farage, Jacob Rees-Mogg, even Boris Johnson and Lord Frost, the future Prime Minister Keir Starmer stated the obvious. His government has no intention of diverging from EU standards. So he delivered this to an audience in Canada a few days ago, but it was just picked up on by Sky News on Thursday. He described it at first as a conflict, but then went on to say that he doesn't want to diverge or rip up standards. Have a listen.
Most of the conflict with the UK being outside of the UK arises insofar as the UK wants to diverge and do different things to the rest of our EU partners. Obviously, the more we share values, the more we share a future together, the less the conflict. And actually, different ways of solving problems become available. Actually, we don't want to diverge. We don't want to lower standards. We don't want to rip up environmental standards, working standards for people at work, food standards, and all the rest of it. So suddenly, you're in a space where, notwithstanding the obvious fact that we are outside of the EU and not in the EEA, there's a lot more common ground than you might think.
And there you have it. Now, this is uncontroversial, of course, but it is controversial to Brexiteers. They've been banging on about how we need to diverge from EU standards. And of course, the more you diverge, the more paperwork you create. Now, people like Jacob Rees-Mogg, Nigel Farage, Lord Frost, these people don't care about that. They don't care about the impact Brexit is having on businesses. All they care about is sovereignty, whatever that means. So this is music to the ears of businesses, be them importers or exporters or manufacturers. Closer alignment to EU standards reduces the paperwork. Now, as he pointed out, the UK it doesn't get away from the fact that the UK is no longer a member of the European Union, and he's not talking about rejoining the single market. He's ruled that out. And in a sense, you can sort of understand that. The first step, of course, is to realign, get as close as possible to EU standards so that when businesses in Britain are producing produce for export, this level of paperwork is removed. Now, of course, there's still going to be a lot of paperwork, but what you're doing is you're stopping the rot. The more the UK diverges, the more paperwork there will be. And the likes of the DUP in Northern Ireland should be happy with this, because the closer the UK aligns with EU standards, the less checks that are necessary on the border between Great Britain and Northern Ireland. But the DUP are never happy. But this is going to melt some brains for sure, because it's going to be a betrayal of Brexit. We need to diverge. Keir Starmer wants to maintain EU standards. He wants to surrender our sovereignty or something like that. So over the next number of days, you're going to see a lot of meltdown on the likes of GB News with Nigel Farage and others, all being invited on to give their 2 cents on why this is a Brexit betrayal. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.